Here we go, raw dogging this Shopify dropshipping brand to 7 figures. You can see this is June. Today's the 1st of July, so we're going to go over June's numbers. 1st to the 30th of June, 106K in revenue. Let's go for the entire year. Let me scroll back to January and we can have a look at the entire year of 2026. You can see 890K brought in, so 110K away from raw dogging this brand to 7 figures. Let's also have a look at May. We're going to come to May. You can see 170K in May. So why have we done less in June than we did in May? Or why has this brand scaled down? Well, the number one reason was because we couldn't find a winning creative. We got ad fatigue. I'm going to show you what we're doing with the ad account in a moment. Let me give you a little bit of context about this brand. But just to say, we had ad fatigue. So we tried to scale up too quickly in May. It wasn't as profitable, so we might have done more revenue, but it wasn't as profitable. There's no point bringing in more sales if it's not going to be profitable. You're just fulfilling more orders and causing yourself more headaches, but you're not actually getting more money out of it. So we scaled back down, still the same, pretty much the same amount of profit, but just less revenue. Again, let me give you a bit of context about this store. It started as a niche store, testing a bunch of different products, found one product that started to sell really well, and then built the store around that one product. Well, technically it's still a niche store, but all of the traffic is running to one product and one product page. And then we have a bunch of upsells that we include. The upsells are mostly in the cart. So somebody purchases the product, they add it to the cart, and then they get a bunch of upsells in the cart. And there are also some other bundles and things like that. But 90%, 95% of the sales come from one product. As I say, it's a niche store. Check out some of my other videos if you want to understand what a niche store is. It basically just means we built the store around one niche. And the reason we have some other products on the store is just to make the store look a little bit more legitimate, look a little bit more full up, but we run all of the traffic to one product page. And like I say, 90% of the sales go to that product. How are we actually getting traffic? Only with meta ads. Here's the meta ads account. You can see this is June, the 1st to the 30th. I'll just choose it again, the 1st to the 30th, and we can hit update. You can see website purchases here, the cost per purchase. We're running 2 campaigns. We just started another campaign in June, which is a sales and discounts campaign, but we have one evergreen campaign, and that is a CBO campaign. That stands for campaign budget optimization. Obviously, you've been dropshipping before, you know what that is. And it just means that we're giving Meta the power to spend on the ads. We set the budget. You can see the budget is set here, $1,750 per day. We set the budget and we give that budget to Meta, and then we just create the ads, put them into the campaign, and Meta decides where the budget goes, which ads it thinks is going to perform the best. Right now, we're trying to put 10 to 15 new ad creatives into this campaign every week. So every time we create a batch of ads, 10 to 15 ads, we create a new ad set. We name it after something that we can understand. So for example, we might say, we're targeting parents with this ad set, so we'll name it after that. And then we put a bunch of ads, 10 to 15 ads in that ad set. And again, Meta will decide. And we keep putting new ads into the campaign every week because we want to find new winners. As I say, in May, some of the previous winning ads were getting fatigued. They were starting to be unprofitable. The cost per acquisition was going down. The numbers weren't looking as good. So we have to consistently try and find new ads. That's the key with dropshipping on Facebook ads, on Meta now. You need to keep finding new creatives. You can't just rely on one creative, and you need to have creative diversity. What else have we done with this brand to get it to 7 figures? As I say, it's not at 7 figures yet, but that's the plan this year, is to get it to 7 figures. Let's come back to June here. We have hired a video editor. So you can use Upwork. We look for video editors on Upwork, and we basically train them on previous ads that we've created. We have a bunch of content with this particular product. It is a dropshipping product. You can see this is our supplier here, BS Dropshipping. This is their platform. All of the orders sync through here, and then we simply pay for our orders here, and they pack and ship them for us. I'll go into in a minute about custom packaging and all that stuff, because we have been doing that with them as well. I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, about hiring video editors. As I say, it is a dropshipping brand. We hired a video editor, and we've got a bunch of content for this product from creators. So a bunch of different B-roll from a bunch of different creators. So we send the product out to creators, and we get a bunch of content, and then we give that content to video editors, and we say, create a bunch of ads for us. We tell them to study. We show them some competitors and some similar types of brands that are creating good ads, and we say, study their meta ads library, have a look at their ads, and create similar types of ads. To incentivize the video editors, incentivize the video editors. If a new ad starts to do well, we will give them a bonus. So if they find a new ad and it starts to get ad spend in the campaign and it starts to become profitable, then we will give the video editor a bonus. So if you want to find a good video editor, basically you need to give them a better incentive to study ads and come up with new creatives for you, not just pay them on a regular basis. You could pay them as well, but it's going to be better if you give them an incentive. It gives them a reason to care about creating good ads for you. In terms of customer service, you could see, let's come back to June. I'm just basically giving you a complete overview of what's going on with the store. We're going to document this. I'm going to be creating and updating you on this store until it hits 7 figures and see where we can scale it to. So I'm just splurting everything out. You can see the return rate. Refunds, 1,700 refunds from 111,000 brought in. So the refund rate is about 1.5%. It's very low. And that means that customer service is fairly simple. We have a VA, again, hired from Upwork, based in the Philippines, and she deals with all of the customer service emails. She answers all of the emails. She tops up the balance in our BS dropshipping account. So this is our dropshipping platform. She tops up the balance, so all of the orders are fulfilled. She logs in and makes sure that all of the orders are fulfilled, as in you basically pay for the orders. Obviously, in the warehouse, in the BS dropshipping warehouse, they actually pack and ship the orders. They fulfill them, but you pay for them on this account. So that's what the VA does. She makes sure that the orders are fulfilled on the platform. She answers all the customer service emails, all of that stuff. She looks at the tracking numbers, makes sure that if a customer asks where their order is, they know where it is, all that stuff. So customer service is automated. Video editing is getting automated, but creative direction is still done with us. And the video editor also helps with that. So how are we going to scale this to 7 figures? What's the plan now? The plan now is to continue finding and testing more new creatives, studying the competitors' ads, and trying to pump out more creatives into the campaign. Instead of 10 to 15, maybe try and do 20, and just consistently putting out new ad creatives. One thing we did try recently on this branded dropshipping store, I'll share with you a few fails, things that didn't work. We tried custom packaging, so custom boxes. Basically, this product comes in a poly mailer. We tried to add boxes to it, and it made the product much heavier, which meant we were paying $4 more to ship the product for every single product. So that's $4 added to the cost of goods every time we fulfilled an order. So we scrapped that pretty quickly, and we got rid of the custom box, and then we just went back to custom poly mailers. Now, some of the creator content that we created was created with those custom boxes. So it does help, because when people see the ads, they see it with a custom box, but they still receive the package with custom poly mailers. Most of them don't care. As you can see, we have, as I say, a 1.5% return rate. Most customers don't care that they're not receiving it in the box that they saw in the ad, and that they see it, they receive it in a poly mailer. It still has our logo on it. Also, the logo is printed on the product. It's embossed or engraved onto the product. That's what you could do with BS dropshipping. As I say, they're a dropshipping platform, but you can go and add custom logos to your product. So they emboss the logo on the product, and we have custom poly mailers, but we failed with the custom boxes because it was costing us too much to ship the products. The boxes were making the product too heavy, costing us $4. You can't afford, imagine $4 over that. Like last month, we've done 2,280 orders. So imagine $4 for each of those. That's almost $10,000 wasted. Okay, so big fail there. Another thing, we tried a new offer. So for those of you that don't know what an offer is, it's basically like a new bundle deal. And we tried to edit the offer. You could scroll down here. Let's see. You could see the conversion rate, 3.99%. We tried a new offer in May. Let's come to May. It was 3.4%. So it affected the conversion rate by 0.6%, which is quite significant over this amount of orders. So we scrapped that offer. It didn't work. In terms of creating a new offer, we created a new landing page, a new product page, not a landing page, a new product page, and we changed all of the ads to go. We sent all of the traffic to that new product page. It didn't work. It wasn't converting as well, so we just changed it back to the old offer, the old product page, and we switched all of the ads back. Big risk. Obviously, it didn't work. And then, as I say, in May, some creative fatigue. Some of the ad creatives that were performing well weren't as profitable, so we had to scale down. We were basically spending less. We set the daily budget in the ad campaigns to less, and we scaled down. As I say, we brought in less revenue, but the profits were more stable. And that's basically a complete update for this brand, scaling it to 7 figures, raw dogging it to 7 figures. We're going to get it there eventually, 110K away. And I'm just going to be making more updates on this brand on this channel. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you soon.